Hello, everybody. Today is a very special day. But before I say that, let me ask you this question. What
Mhm.
happens when you're bullied? When you're bullied
Um,
so much that you don't know what to do about it. You can't run, you can't
mhm.
hide, and you can't face your bully because you are so afraid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What happens? Today we have
Um,
a very
of
special guest, Brook Wright. Now, Brooke is has her own podcast, so
mhm.
she blurbs a very exciting podcast. So go and check it out. You'll have all the details in the description. But today we want to speak a bit more about something that's close to Brooke's heart and something that she's almost a social worry about. But I'll
Mhm.
let Brooke tell you a bit about that. Hello, Brooke. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Thank you, Brooke, for being here. I'm looking forward to this show. Before we start, tell us a bit about who Brooke is, a little bit about who Brooke is, and then we'll get into the good stuff.
Okay, so I'm Brooke, and I'm the host of podcast She Boys podcast, and I also host another podcast where we talk about horror movies. But I'm a paralegal student. I want to help low income students, like low income kids and foster kids. I want to build a nonprofit for them so that they can go on like trips and have adventures while they're young, and also set up a college fund for them for when they are like, I wouldn't say kicked out of foster care, but whenever they're done with foster care, have
Wow.
so that they can have a plan. So yeah.
Wow, I'm loving that. That is so cool. I think we'll have to chat about that for another podcast because that's very commendable, and it's such a beautiful cause.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I think today I'd like to speak a bit about bullying.
Mhm.
Now, the reason I'm speaking about bullying, and we know that you have experienced bullying, and we'll talk about that. And it's very close to my heart as well because it's a friend of mine this week sent me photos of her face
Oh wow.
being, and it was all bruised, and she was bullied. So this is close to my heart. Tell us, Brooke, a bit about your experiences.
When I was bullied, I was 16 in high school, and it was three girls, and they never physically their hands on me, but it was more taunting and more embarrassing me in front of people, telling people I stink, and they came up with a nickname for me, and everybody in my school called me that, and they
Oh,
still tried to call me that after high school. So, yeah. With bullying, the effects of bullying, my mom had to monitor me because I wouldn't shower, I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't brush my teeth, I wouldn't comb my hair, so my hair was matted and was falling out. It was really long too, and it was matted, falling out. And I was writing suicide notes and just trying to kill myself. And
oh,
the girls at school, they didn't understand how they made me feel. And my mom, she tried her best. She did. She tried her best. She would go up to the school and have a conference with their parents and them, and that didn't do anything but make it worse. So the bullying got worse after that happened.
mm,
And um, another girl that was also bullied there, the girls ended up jumping her and putting her in a hospital. And I was like, Mom, high school isn't like it was when you was in high school. They will bully, like they will gang up on you and beat you up until they put you in the hospital. And my mom was like, well, if you just fight the leader, then they'll stop. And I'm like, Mom, that's not how it works. They will all gang up on you and fight you. And she
yes,
wasn't understanding that. And I was like,
yes.
Mom, I need help. Like, and she just didn't understand. She thought that she could beat them all up at the same time. I'm like, Mom, that's not how it works now. But
Phew, that must have been really scary. I mean, how did you feel to actually, did you to go back to school every day?
oh, it was bad. It was bad. The students would just look at you and laugh. The teachers, they didn't do anything either. It was really bad. It was really bad. The principal didn't do anything. It was just, and I started to cut class. So I would leave the school and I was in honors. So I was making AP. And then after that, I went down to the regular classes. I wasn't in AP anymore. So I didn't graduate with honors because of my bullying. So,
Yes, yes.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. It got really bad.
So what did you do? How did
I
you stop it?
How did I stop it? I don't even know. Like, I had this one friend that would help me out. She tried to help me out. We're not friends anymore, but she tried to help me out. I don't know how I dealt with it. I just basically dealt with it and graduated and never talked to them again. Like, that's what happened. But as I got older, it did affect me going into like the job fields and working
Mm-hmm.
with other people because they were also bullies. And I'm like, how are grown people bullies? Like how are people that are 20 to 50 bullying people? And I'm like, this is not how things are supposed to be.
Mm.
So bullying's been happening to me ever since 16. From 16 to 30, and now I'm 34, I've been bullied in the work field, everything. Like they had to put me in the hospital because I tried to commit suicide. My dog was at the house by herself for a week, so my house got messed up because of the dog, and just everything happened. It was bad.
Wow, that's quite a story. But so what do you think started this? Because up to age 16, you were fine, right? And then
Yeah.
something happened at age 16. What happened
Mhm.
to change that
Um,
and to have that reaction to some people?
mhm. I felt like I'm not gonna try to say I'm like the prettiest girl in the world, but I felt like they were jealous. I felt like they were jealous because I was quiet, I was thin, I had long, pretty brown hair. People liked me, they talked to me, they were nice to me, and I felt like those three girls was jealous of me. They didn't have that. People didn't like them, but
Mm.
they did like them once they started bullying me. But I felt like I felt like a lot of bullying is out of jealousy. Like they jealous of the things you don't have, or they jealous that you're not talking to them, that you're quiet. So they think that they can pick on you because you are quiet, and they think you won't do anything, which sometimes they don't do anything, but yeah.
So if you had to go back, would you do anything differently?
Yeah, I would definitely do a lot of things differently.
What would you do?
I would They say that you can give yourself affirmations. I would have done that. I would
Mhm.
have got into some kind of kickboxing or something to build my confidence, like kickboxing or karate, like
Mhm.
something to help me out. I would have got into therapy earlier. I would have communicated with my mom better to make her understand better. Um, yeah, but one thing I would say is that suicide is never the answer, even though I have kept, like, it's a mental illness. I keep thinking about it, but it's never the answer at all,
Mhm.
ever.
Mhm. Mm. So do you think it was the bullying that just pushed you over the edge, where you
Yeah.
couldn't turn, you didn't know any better, or there was no escape? Why did you go down that route? Why did you even think about it?
I just thought that I wanted to end, like I wanted it to be over. So that's why I thought of suicide as the best option, is
Mm.
because I wanted to be over. Like I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I didn't think I was strong enough to deal with it. So yeah, that was the only option I thought I had.
And what would have stopped you if you had support? If you had support from the teachers or the principal, or would that have made a difference or not?
I don't think so. I don't think having their support would have stopped me from doing it. I think that if the girls, like if I communicated with them better and they understood what I was going through and communicated with them, then I think that that would have been a better option. But it's hard to communicate with people that are bullying you because they don't get it. They
Yes.
just want control. They are jealous. So yeah, I think that communicating with them probably would have been my best option, a better option,
Mm,
but
mm,
yeah, that didn't work.
mm. So what about I'm thinking about if you had so you had these three girls that just came out of nowhere. What has changed now since you're 34? Are you still bullied, or has your life changed?
Um, well, let's see, around 30 years old, I was bullied again by girls that were in the workforce with me, like working with me.
Mm.
And well, they tried to bully me, and it did work because I ended up trying to commit suicide at work, and they sent me to the hospital. So it did work, but now being 34, that's not gonna work anymore. I don't let people bully me. I don't let people talk to me crazy. It's not gonna happen because I'm gonna stand up for myself. I've been standing up for myself and it's been working, and they stop.
I
Like
love
I'm
it.
telling, oh yeah, tell them straight up, straight when it's happening. Don't wait a few days. Right then and there, when they say something, you say something back. That's not gonna happen, and they'll stop. They'll
I love
definitely.
that. What shifted, Brooke? What
Uh,
changed?
What changed is that I decided that I wanted to live my life and I wanted to help others, especially kids who were bullied. Like, I'm not gonna let that happen. Like, I'm not gonna take my life because of somebody else don't like me, or
Mm.
they want to control over me. That's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna end my life because of that.
I love that. I love that change. That change that you did. It's such a huge change. What advice would you give to someone that's been bullied?
I would give them advice. Let's see. I would tell them to definitely try to build up their confidence. I think that's where it comes from, low self-esteem, low confidence. I would tell them to get into some kind of group therapy or kickboxing. Like I said, kickboxing and exercising, that works. All that stuff works, I'm telling you, because I started kickboxing and it works. It does. It does work. I would tell them to live for themselves and not for other people. And what they say to you does not matter, or what they say about you does not matter, because it's their opinion of you, and it's just their opinions, and they will always talk about you for the rest of your life. That's what I tell people. People will always talk about you for the rest of your life. And how are you going to deal with it? Like, yeah.
Yes, yes, I love that. I mean, there's billions of people in the world, right? So why would you care about a few people speaking badly about you?
Exactly. They do that online. They try to bully me online, but there's a block option. So I straight up block people. I do not mind blocking people. People's like, oh, well, that's weak. I don't care if it's weak or not. I'm gonna block people if they try to be negative to me or negative on my page or post my pictures and talk about me. I'm gonna block them.
Good. Yes. So it's about standing up for yourself.
Oh yeah.
It's very commendable that you got to this point, but you had to go through all those. So have you thought about suicide again?
Recently, Uh, I did a little bit, but then I talked to myself, and I'm like, I know it's odd to talk to yourself, but
No, it's not.
I spoke to myself. I was like, why am I trying to kill myself? Why am I trying to commit suicide? Why am I doing that and letting other people control my life? Like, no, no. So I did think about it not too long ago, but I was like, no, that's not gonna happen.
What triggered it?
What triggered? Okay, so I don't like change, and I had changed my job. I'm making more money, so I changed my job. I changed my lifestyle. I moved out of state, and change to me is new to me, and I don't like it. So that's what triggered it. Is change. I don't know why.
Well, you did a lot of changes. That was a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of changes.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So have you learned from that?
Um. Yeah, I learned to take better care of myself and of my apartment and of my dog, and just take better care of me and love me. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So how do you do that?
How do I do it? I usually do affirmations a lot of affirmations, and then on my phone, they are like every day, 3 times a day, they'll send you something positive about yourself, like you say you love yourself, and then you say you love yourself, or I am strong, then you say that. And it's 3 times a day. And it's an app and they send it to you and you just say it. That's one thing that changes. Like I recommend that to everyone.
Oh, it's very cool. What app is it?
It is called, oh man, I wish I could see it. It's called I don't know, but it has like a little stars on it. I'm gonna have to post it, but I don't
It's
remember the
okay.
name.
We'll have check out the description box. We'll have the app there. That's very good. So that's changed the way you feel about yourself, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Positive affirmations do work. I didn't think they did work at first, but they do. They definitely can change. And music, like if you are triggered by something, just listen to your favorite song or favorite music, and that does change. Like especially if you listen to it loud and clean up, then that works too.
Yes, cleanup is important, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, I love that. So, what was the biggest time in your life when you were really, really afraid?
I was really, really afraid. Whenever I recently got kicked out of my apartment, I thought I was going to be homeless and didn't have anywhere to live. But I ended up living with my grandmother for 2 months until I moved into this apartment now that I'm in. Um, that was the most, yeah, that was when I was afraid because I was like, where's my dog gonna go? Where's my cat's gonna go? Sadly, I had to give my cats away because they can't stay here. But I got to keep my dog.
That's good. That's
but but yeah, sadly my cats had to go. But that was the biggest, I guess, fear that I've had so far.
And you dealt with it. You coped with it, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm still coping with it.
That's very good. You didn't think of did suicide at that time, at that point, ever enter your mind?
No, 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 because I was ready for change. I was ready for change, but I don't like change, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was ready. I needed a new environment, new surroundings, just something new. Because I've been in that apartment since for 10 years, and I was sexually assaulted in that apartment. I had boyfriends that lived in that apartment. I was struggling in that apartment, and it was just too much in that apartment. And I just left everything behind and started over.
Oh, nice, nice. So that also made a big difference in your life, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you found freedom, Brooke?
Have I found freedom? Yes, yes, I have. Yeah, I would say I have. Yeah.
Okay. In what way? In what way?
Um, I'm free from toxic people. I was surrounded by a bunch of toxic people, negative people.
Mm.
I freed myself from that, and just I don't know, starting over. It's been nice.
Yes, yes. And has that starting over had an influence on the way you feel about yourself, about with
Yeah.
your self confidence and your self love and your self esteem?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I learned something about myself. I learned something about myself, definitely. Changing and my self confidence. Yeah, it changed. Yeah.
Okay, I'm loving that. Now, tell me, why did you start your podcast, She Blurbs?
Oh, okay. So I started my podcast due to my depression and my anxiety and my suicide attempts. Um, I started this because I wanted to inspire other people who have been through what I've been through, like being sexually assaulted, being bullied, um, men who have been, have mental illnesses. I also have them on there. It just started because of that, because I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to give people hope, and I wanted them to know that people, even celebrities, because I've had celebrities on there who has been through stuff like that and who changed their lives, and now they're, famous, they have money, they are not homeless, and they just changed their lives. So I was hoping to inspire other people to change their lives too, to make it better. So,
I'm loving that. So, did they inspire you? Have you grown from your podcast?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of the coaches on there, they're like giving me free sessions. So that's been helping a lot. I've been getting to know people that I've interviewed. And I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So also on my podcast, I forgot what I was gonna say about that because I've had a lot of famous people that came on that shown me that just because you're famous and you have money doesn't mean you don't struggle with mental illness. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. Mental illness is very, very huge, and people need to take it more serious.
Yes, 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 definitely. It's a big thing. So, what do you think people should do about mental illness?
I definitely think they should get help. And even if they don't think they need it, they need it. It's very serious, because I know that I don't hear voices or anything like that, but sometimes whenever I'm depressed and I hear, the inner me say, just end your life, just end it all and you'll be okay. And
Mm,
I just feel like that's just negative talk. That's just somebody negative in me that's telling me to do that.
mm.
So yeah, I don't.
So, what do you suggest? Because it's prevalent, there's a lot of mental illness, and there's a lot of people that are on the streets due
Mhm.
to mental illness.
Oh yeah.
How what would you say if someone experiences that, like experiences these voices in their heads telling them to commit suicide or telling them to do something they don't want to do? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to do what I do, tune it out, speak to yourself, uh, pray. You can meditate. That works a lot. Meditation does. It does get your mind off of it.
Mm.
It really does. Cause yeah, it really does.
What
I've had
happens
that
if it
happen.
doesn't?
If it doesn't, I would I would say speak to a therapist right away. They do have like little apps and little programs and worksheets that they give you to help you get out of that mental state of mind. It
Mm,
doesn't always work, but it can help a lot.
mm. Okay, so you'd suggest that so they should have a therapist on speed dial almost.
Oh yeah, definitely. They do help. Therapists definitely help. And coaches too. Life coaches are pretty good too. But they're not therapists, but they can help you.
So did a therapist and a life coach get you through to this point?
Hmm. Oh yeah. The last coach that I had, he was amazing. I did have to end our coaching sessions because of my move and stuff, and my internet being down and all this other stuff that was going on, but he was definitely a good coach. He taught me, it's called the nowist. He taught me being in the now. How do you feel right now? Not in your past, not in your future. How do you feel right this second? So yeah, he's helped me a whole lot.
Tell me, of course, when you were bullied, your marks obviously went down. Everything went down because you were bullied and you had meant it was almost mental torture, right?
Oh yeah.
What's happened now? So have you? Because I know you're at school. You're at school.
Mhm.
How are your marks now? Have they improved?
Oh yeah. So I'm in online college. So yeah, I am on the dean's list on honor roll. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. But this is because I'm online. But still being bullied at the workplace, it did affect my grades at first. And then I got out of that environment because I guess I let them run me off, but I don't feel that way. I feel like I left because of my mental illness. I feel like I left because I needed to be positive. So since
Mm-hmm.
then, my grades have went all the way up, and I love it.
Ah, that's very cool. So you keep positive. Of
Oh
course,
yeah.
your environment makes a big difference, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
now that you've moved, your environment's different, so you're more positive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Way different. There's nobody here bothering me. There's nobody. It's not loud noise. It's not anybody banging on the walls, banging on the doors, trying to get your dog all riled up. Like yeah, it's a very different environment.
And that's made a difference to your life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I feel positive. Like I feel happier now. My grandma's like, "You sound happier," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yes, yes, you do. You sound happy. So how has that impacted your life? Like, things happening in your life, people coming into your life. How has that happiness, that positivity changed your life?
It changed my life because now I don't let people get under my skin. If they feel a certain way about me, then that's how they feel, and I don't associate with them. I don't let anybody negative in my circle to try to bring me down to that kind of level anymore. So yeah.
That's very good. So you just cut them out and that's it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's harder to cut out family members because you've known them your whole life, but people that are just like, I wouldn't say friends, but people that you like meet and they're negative and stuff, it's easier to cut them out versus your family.
Yes,
But
yes, yes,
yeah.
of course.
Okay.
So how do you deal with your family?
Some of them some of them is harder to cut ties with, but some of them I'm just like I have been speaking up to myself, myself for my family, and yeah, it's easier to not talk to them, some of them. But I don't know, it's just different.
Yeah, well, with family, it is different, right? I
Mhm,
wanted, you just mentioned as well about bullying online, and I think that's probably quite a big thing
mhm.
because social media is big, is big. It's something that's in our lives. I
Right.
mean, whether we like it or not. How do you deal with that besides blocking? Because sometimes if you block someone, they can still come show up somewhere, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've had that happen before. Yeah. Usually I just keep blocking them because like with cyberbullying, they can take screenshots of your pictures, take screenshots of what you post it on their stuff, have people talking about you, laughing at you, and people messaging you and stuff. And I'm like, so to get away from that, I just constantly keep blocking, or I just turn off my messaging thing. Like the messaging thing, you can turn it off to where it takes all of their messages to the spam folder, and you don't ever have to see it.
Oh,
But
yes, yes.
it does get pretty bad online. It does. And at first, I was like, I watched a Dr. Phil episode of this girl. She committed suicide. Two of them. They committed suicide because they was being bullied online. And I was like, how are they being bullied online? Like, that's the block option. But now I get it. I understand because it happened to me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now I see what they're talking about. Now I see how you can't get away from it. But you can. But I don't know. But yeah.
Explain a bit more how that impacts, because I've heard and there's a lot of people that commit suicide because of bullying online.
Yeah.
So how did you deal with it, and what is it exactly? What
Um,
exactly do people do?
they will your pictures, they'll post it, they'll have other people laughing at you, other people talking about you, and they're all, I just don't get it. They're all adults. Like adults. That's what gets me. Most of them are adults. There's some kids on there, that talk reckless, but you can tell that they're kids by how they speak and how they spell. So you can tell that they're kids. You're like, that's a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
But the adults is what gets to me. The I'm like, you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s,
Wow.
and you're talking about people, and you're talking about what they're wearing. You're talking about how much makeup they have on. You're talking about filters. And I'm like, are you jealous? Like, let them wear filters if they want to have filters on. Let them do this if they want to do this. Let them have low cut shirts if they want to have low cut shirts. And people's like, well, that's how you get raped. And I'm like, no, that's not how you get raped. You can get raped if you have on baggy clothes. Like, rape is about control, not about what you're wearing.
Mm.
And it's just people just nitpick. They like nitpicking. They don't have anything better to do, so they go online and talk about other people. And I'm just like, that's petty. And you're grown and adults, and you're making fun of kids, and you're making fun of other people. Like, I
Mm.
just don't get it. I don't get it.
So what do you do?
What do? I usually take a break from. You can take a break from social media. Like, you can uninstall the app. You can still have your Facebook, but uninstall it from your phone to where you're not getting notifications from it, and like take a sabbatical from it. And that helps. Or I don't know, like you said, blocking doesn't always work. So you can do that, or you could stand up for yourself, or you can try to ignore it. Like, they don't know you personally. So if you ignore them, then it's not like they're gonna come and track you down and find you and kill you. Some people.
They don't
Some
know who.
people. Yeah. I mean, if they got the money for that, then but yeah, I don't know.
So you suggest that they just ignore it, right?
Yeah. That's what I usually do. Ignore it. Just like whatever, and I block them. Like yeah.
Yes. Well, that's it's so interesting how it's so easy to hide behind your computer and bully people.
Right.
It's quite interesting, and it would be interesting to see the kind of person who does that. But that's for another show. Have you ever got to the point of bullying? Because now we were talking about those people that commit suicide, those girls or boys or whoever they were. What do you think brought them to that point where they took their lives? Because, like you say, you can block, you can switch off social media, you can take it off, you can go off Facebook. You don't have to be part of Facebook. What do you think was that catalyst, that thing that just pushed them over the edge to make them take their lives? And this is supposition, okay, because we don't know. But from your point of view, because you've experienced it.
From my point of view, well, the two girls I was just telling you about, one of them, she committed suicide because she wanted friends. She didn't have friends. And she wanted people to accept her and to like her for who she was, but they just kept making fun of her, talking about her teeth, talking about her appearance, talking about her face, talking about her clothes. And I'm just like, that's sad. That really is sad. And usually it comes a breaking point, like when you want people to like you, but then they just keep not liking you. You try to be nice to them, but they just keep talking about you. And I'm like, well, why? What did I do to you to make you not like me? Or the other girl, she committed suicide because she had friends. She was on the I think she was on the either cheerleading team or baseball team. And she was friends with these group of people. And one of them, I guess she was talking to one of their ex-boyfriends, and the other girl said she was okay with it, but comes to find out she wasn't okay with it. So she started talking about her and having her friends talk about her, and the girl ended up committing suicide. And usually that's how another thing happens. Like if you have friends and you hang out with them all the time and they just all of a sudden turn their back on you, then that can also trigger, why did they do that to me? Why did they single me out? Why did they make me feel this way? And then that could also like make you want to end your life. And it's sad because the girls that did this, they didn't even feel any remorse. Like they didn't feel any guilt that they made people feel this way about themselves. Three of the girls that bullied one of the girl, they went to her funeral, didn't talk to her parents, didn't apologize. One of the girls that was bullying her didn't even care to come to the funeral, didn't feel sorry for her. And I'm like, why are people mean like that? Like, why do they treat people that way? And then why? But then if it was happening to them, they will feel a certain kind of way, is what I'm trying to say. Like if bullies were bullied, they would understand.
Yes. Yes, for sure. And what do you think would have stopped it? What could someone have done, their parents or someone? And like I said, I'm just asking you the question because you've been in that environment, because you can't really know. But what do you think could have helped her or stopped her from taking her life?
For one, I don't think her mom should have left her alone. That's the biggest mistake. When your child is feeling some that type of way like that, you do not leave them alone at all, under any circumstances. She was like, well, I'm going to the store. And her daughter was like, well, I'm staying home and I'm going to clean up. No, you don't leave the child alone, especially when they're feeling depressed. They're going to harm themselves when they are alone. So don't leave them alone. Keep them active. Keep them into something. Keep their brains active. Keep their mind off of it. Like you can go out to eat. You can go to a park. You can go exercise. That's my number one thing. Exercise.
Exercise is best, right?
Oh yeah. It works. I didn't think it worked. They can also try eating healthy foods. I heard that that's really big with mental illness, eating healthier foods can help with mental illness. And I don't know. Like they could have. They shouldn't have left them alone. That's all. And they don't leave people that are depressed alone. So,
Do you think the parents knew?
uh, well, the one of the parents did say she knew, and she told her she was going to the store and be right back. She did know. She did know that she was sad and depressed, but I
Mm,
don't think she knew that she was going to harm herself. But the other ones, they said they had no clue that she was going to harm herself because they checked on her, she was asleep, and then the next thing you know, they woke up, she was gone.
mm,
So it's a day by day thing. Like definitely got to pay attention to their actions and how they are speaking to you. Like that's what I always told my mom. Like mom's like, well, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I was like, Mom, if you just, I'm not trying to be rude, Mom, but if you just shut your mouth sometimes and just listen to what I'm saying, then you could hear what I'm telling you. But sometimes people don't listen. They are
mm.
always opening their mouths instead of listening. I'm gonna just sit back and listen. But yeah.
Yes. So do you think that also the communication between parent and child is probably um, is important, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And parents need to listen to their children because they'll tell you. They'll definitely tell you if you listen to them. And I think that's the problem with communication with kids and their parents. They're just like they don't understand.
Mm,
So yeah.
mm, mm. So has your communication between your mom and yourself changed since your attempt on suicide?
No, no, definitely not. My mom is not someone that I confide in at all. Period. Ever, 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 ever. Always been this way. She's. I'm not trying to bring her down or anything, but she's a B word sometimes, and I just prefer to talk to other people, like people that actually listen and understand.
So that's very important. So
Oh
if those girls had someone that could listen to them, even if it wasn't a parent,
yeah.
that would have made a difference. Do you think
Oh
that
yeah.
would have made a difference?
Oh yeah, that's one thing I would suggest for schools is to like have a therapist there and like make it mandatory that you know how they have classes each class. I feel like it should be mandatory to have students go to therapy every day just to speak to
Mm-hmm.
someone. Yeah, because sometimes kids don't want to talk to their parents because sometimes their parents are the ones that bully them or treat them bad or yeah. So it's always somebody to talk to at school.
Oh, yes, yes, that's a
Mhm.
good idea. What advice would you give parents?
Well, listen. Shut up and listen. That sounds so harsh, but yeah, just actually listen to your kids. Don't talk over them and listen because they will tell you. They will definitely tell you how they're feeling if you are a good parent.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
what about behavior? Did your behavior change before before you were going to or thinking about committing suicide? Did your behavior change somehow,
Um.
or not really? Would someone have picked it up if someone was watching you or if someone knew you very well? Sorry, I didn't.
Oh yeah, yeah. If they paid attention, then yeah, they would notice. Because before I was bullied, I was more outgoing. Like I was on sports teams. I was making good grades. I had a few friends and I was doing quite well. And then after the bullying, my grades went down. I wasn't in ROTC anymore. I wasn't doing sports anymore. And I was cutting class. Grades went all the way down. It was just too much. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So
Uh,
that would have been a trigger. That is so as a parent, that's what you should be watching out for, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
see that there is a problem within your child. What
Mhm.
about parents who don't have time for their children? Like they're
Ooh.
busy, they don't have two jobs, whatever.
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Oh man, for parents that don't have time, I suggest them to make time. Um, I know it is hard because you're a parent and you're working to make a living, so that's hard. That's really hard. You can always get them help though through therapy and through group therapy. They have children's therapy. You can take them to church if that's your religion. You can take them to church, and they have therapy there. They have groups there that talk to each other. Um, yeah, I suggest getting them active into something that can help them mentally.
Mm. And what about children? How do they speak to their parents? And how
Oh.
do they how do they help their parents understand that they should be listening to them? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, right?
How I got my mom to understand was, yeah, she never understood. She still doesn't understand. Um, let's see. So, how to get their parents to understand? I don't know. That's a tough question because my mom still didn't understand. Like, she, in a way, she didn't make things worse for me, but she just was like, "Well, why can't you just fight them?" That's her option for everything: fight them, beat them up. I'm like, Mom, that's not gonna work. This is what 20. It was what 26 to 2006 or something like that. It was '06 or '05, and I'm like, Mom, they don't do that like they was back in the '70s when you was when you was a kid, or '60s when you was a kid. I'm like, Mom, no. But she doesn't. Some parents just don't get it, so they just need to seek out help for their children if they just don't understand.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And what happens if they can't seek out help? Then obviously the children should be seek out help. So,
Oh yeah.
do they have those facilities at schools where children can go and say, "Hey, you know what? I need help. I need to speak to someone," or not?
Oh no, not when I was in school. I don't know if they have it now, but when I was in school, they had a counselor, but that wasn't anything. Like counselors, they need more education on how to speak to children, if
Mm.
that makes sense. Like, because they're no help. I don't know if they're help now, but they definitely didn't have any help when I was in school. No.
No, no.
Mhm.
So, what would children do?
Man, it's tough. Like they could try to do what I did. When I was thinking of suicide, I went to my church and I was like, "Look, I'm having problems." It was a women's Bible study, and I went in there. I was like, "Look, I'm looking for a church to go to. I'm trying to kill myself." And I was like, "I need friends. I need people who are positive and good role models." And they all welcomed me with open arms. So
Wow.
I don't know. Sometimes if you want to live your life and if you want to change, then it takes you to do it. Sometimes you can't rely on other people to help you or to help you change. So yeah, it's up to you to change.
Yes, yes.
But
You know, they say there's no one's going to come and save you. You have to
right,
save yourself.
exactly.
Yes. So, wow, I'm really, you should be really proud of yourself that you come out of this and
Oh,
you're confident and you've started your two podcasts, not even one, and you've interviewed all these celebrities.
Mhm.
Wow, it's really great,
Mm.
Brooke. So, what's in the future for Brooke?
Oh, so I am trying to build a business plan for my nonprofit. It's taken a lot of business planning because I'm trying to build up a nonprofit for foster children and low income children to help them build up a college fund for when they get out of foster care, because I know that once they get out of foster care, they don't have anything. And most of the foster care children and teens and young adults, once they leave foster care, they end up becoming drug dealers or homeless. They end up becoming, I don't want to say crackheads or anything like that because that sounds bad, but like addicted to drugs or gun violence, all this other negative stuff. So
Mhm.
in order to help them, I want to build up a fund for them so that they could go to college or that they can get a job or go and get a trade, go to trade school, and just build up their career and build up themselves instead of becoming what society thinks they're going to be. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
So,
so that's beautiful. So you give them the support to get
yeah.
from, because what happens at age 18, once they come out of foster care, they're just thrown into the world,
It's
right?
exactly, they are. A lot of the celebrities I've interviewed who have been in foster care, there was one of them. He is a retired famous football player. He played for the Steelers, but he was adopted into a family. But
Mm,
he told me that growing up there, that's what they do. A lot of his friends, after 18, they just kick you out. Like, you're just on your own. They give you money, you're on your own. So you become what society thinks you're going to become: homeless, a drug dealer, addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, all this other stuff. So I'm like, wow. Just speaking to people who have been in a foster care system, they was like, it's not a cake in the park. They said it's tough. They don't do anything. They don't get to travel. They don't get to experience what other kids who have parents, good parents, get to experience. Like, they don't go to Disney World, they don't do anything. So I'm like, why can't we just set up a fund for them to, like, go to Disney World or to go to the park or, experience the world?
Yes, yes, yes. I love that. I love the idea. It's like it's a beautiful vision
Mhm.
because then you can take them, hold their hand, and take them to the next level. So once they've got a job, then they can find a place to stay or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Oh yeah. Oh
Wow,
yeah.
that's beautiful. So have you started your nonprofit?
I haven't, because they said that you have to write a business plan first, and then you have to spend. I think here, the state I moved to, they have a fee that you have to pay to start the nonprofit. So it's like $300 that you got to start the nonprofit, but you have to have a business plan first, and then you have to have sponsors and then supporters. I'm like, what? So you have to have all this stuff before you can even start your nonprofit.
So are you looking for sponsors and supporters?
Yeah, yeah, I am. Yeah.
So if anybody's out there who's interested in this, get hold of Brooke, and this is a beautiful initiative.
Okay.
So let's make a difference.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's gonna take a lot of work. I've been reading up about the nonprofit. It's gonna take me a while to do that.
But it's good. It's okay. You know what? It's a start,
Mhm.
and it's a vision,
Yeah.
and that's already beautiful on its own. And you know what? Once you start these, you have these ideas and this heart, your burning heart, you start
Mhm.
attracting the right people into your life.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Hopefully, I attract the right man into my life. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But hopefully.
Well, things like that happen once you change and you become more confident and you become self-reliant. Who knows what
Mhm.
happens? You never
Oh,
know what happens in life, right?
that's true. That's true.
Well, this has been awesome. Brooke, I've really enjoyed this. And I don't know why I'm all weird. Anyway, done. And this has been a lot of fun. And thank you so much for being so vulnerable and
Mhm.
telling us about your bullying, because that must have been very difficult. But I think you have probably saved some people's lives for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've gotten a lot of emails from people, and they're like, "Wow, that interview with so and so, that really inspired me and changed my life, and like helped me come out as a gay person, or helped me come out as whatever." Like, I've had emails like that before.
Wow, that's exciting. That's
Oh yeah.
exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So before we go, tell us, do you have any advice for the youth of today, for teenagers, for
Oh yeah.
children?
Oh yeah, it definitely gets better. That's the advice it gets better if you work towards it. It gets better for you. Like, a lot of people think that they're stuck in that position or stuck in that certain state of mind. You're not. It gets better. It does.
How?
Mhm. It gets better if you change, if you work towards it, if you're positive, if you love yourself. That's one thing. Love yourself. It does.
Yes.
It gets better.
Yes.
Mhm.
Wow. Thank you. On that beautiful note, thank you so much. This has been an honor and a pleasure. I'd would love to have you back, like in a few months, and to see how you're doing and how your vision has moved from there. And
Great.
congratulations again for getting through all of this, getting through that bullying. That's huge on its own, and for
Mhm.
inspiring others,
Oh
inspiring
yeah.
others to even bigger hearts and to do the same. So
Oh
thank
yeah.
you, Brooke. It's been an honor to have you, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, everyone. See you.
Bye.
Bye.